What is up, EUC world? I'm Matt Burt. This is the Kingsong F18. I've been riding this wheel exclusively for about 6 months now, so let me tell you all about it. All right, let me rattle off some specs for you. Pardon me if I cheat and use my phone a little bit, but the motor here, that's a 5,000 nominal, 9,000 watt peak motor. It's a C38. I prefer that to a C40 or a C42. Those motors feel like an anchor. It's the unsprung mass. You have to kind of pick it up. It doesn't get lifted by the suspension, essentially. For the batteries, we got a 50S cells. It's a 151.2 volt battery, and it is about 2,700 watt hours. I think it's a little bit less than that, but that's what they call it on here. It supports up to 20 amp charging, so that's pretty cool. The stock charger is a 10 amp, so I don't think anyone else is doing that. If you get 2 of those chargers, you can charge at 20 amps. That's pretty dope. And obviously it's got a smart BMS. Like, we got to have smart BMSs on our wheels these days, right? IPX6 waterproof rating. Not a lot of wheels have a solid waterproof rating. The wheels are definitely getting better in that regard these days, but I think you could get this thing a little wet and you'll be all right. As for range, they're saying you can get 90 miles out of this thing. You're gonna be going pretty slow if you wanna get 90 miles out of it. I'd say more realistically, you're gonna get like 50 or 60 and less if you're full sending it, obviously. That's just how batteries work. Speaking of full send, this thing can go like over 55 miles an hour, which is plenty for an off-road wheel in my opinion. If you know me, I like tight single track going down rocks where you're just trying to put the puzzle together. You're not flying 50 miles an hour down these rocky, steep trails. No way. The weight, it's about 88 pounds or something, and that's like a Lynx, an OG Lynx. I think the Lynx S is a little heavier with that heavier motor. They're getting away with that weight because the frame is like a magnesium alloy. And what that means is it's 28% lighter and 50% stronger. Yeah, that's gonna keep all your parts together, keep your wheel from falling apart like Humpty Dumpty. The suspension, this is where it gets interesting. We have the D&M quad piston suspension. It's hydraulic and it's air. You can go like 50 to 300 PSI. So it's like suitable for basically all weight ranges, all types of terrain. It's got 100 millimeters of travel and 25 clicks of the rebound dampening. So again, just super adjustable. That's my gripe with some of these wheels is like, especially if it's a linkage and slider, you end up like changing rear shocks and stuff. This one, you don't need to. The tire this thing comes with is like my favorite stock tire for sure. It's a tubeless tire. And so you're just ready to go. Everyone loves tubeless these days. This is definitely my favorite stock tire for sure. I think I might get another one when it's time to freshen up the rubber. These pedals here, these can go up and down 15 millimeters either way. So 30 millimeters total of like adjustability. You could step it up, step it down. I leave it right there at the stock position, which is in the middle. This wheel has the like fastest motor removal ever. You just unscrew these 2 screws here, these 3 screws in the back. I guess there's 2 screws for the cover, and then there's 3 screws in the back, and then yeah, 4 screws around the bottom, and boom, it's out. It's so fast. You can't be faster. The Bluetooth speakers, they're back. They come on this wheel, but I had to take them off to be able to get my pads. They've done some revisions. I haven't checked in on that part quite yet to see if the Bluetooth speakers can work with my pads yet. I could totally make like a 3D printed adapter. I just haven't gone that far yet. I like to hear my surroundings, listen for rattlesnakes. Apple Find My. It has a Apple Find My chip somewhere in here. I'm not exactly sure. I guess it's maybe part of the motherboard. I don't know. Some people have a problem trying to get it to work, I guess. Obviously, you have to have an iPhone, and then I can't remember if I set it up just like an Apple AirTag or if it was through the Kingsong app. But yeah, no, I totally can track the wheel. It's not a problem. I'm not really sure what the fix is because I never had the problem. And then the pedal angle adjusters down here, they are probably the best I've ever seen. They have these 2 little grub screws down here. and then one big screw, and you use those to kind of like, you know, pinch the little plate together in the way that you need to, so that that wedge is exactly where it needs to be to stop that thing from going down any further, or let it, you know, come down further if you need to flatten it out a little bit. All right, so that's all the specs. There's probably more, but whatever. Let's talk about why all of that matters and why that makes a good EUC. All right, so power. It's got all the power I could ever need. You don't need a whole lot of power when you live for just sending it down tight single tracks and then ripping the jump park. It's not a street wheel. It doesn't have like a crazy top speed or anything like that, but it excels very well in the off-roading, especially the downhill, which is where I live, where I love to ride. I really like to think of it as like a mix between the S22 and the OG Lynx. It's just got like that crazy powertrain and then amazing suspension and firmware. It's just like OG Lynx and S22 Pro had a freaky night out, and this is the result. Another thing I can say about the power is, you know, the 168 volt X-Way is known as a pretty dang powerful off-road wheel, right? But at King of the Motos, I out-sprinted Justin Davis on one, and he's no slouch at all. He got me a couple times, obviously, but the wheel is capable. And at Let It Ride, we had Josh Fagerness. Hopefully I'm saying that right. Yeah, he out-sprinted 3 X-Ways in the final off the gate and just took away the race. Like, it was just gone. This thing can go, baby, go. And yeah, once you get into the corners, you're gonna love that you have this one over a heavier model for sure. All right, moving on to the suspension. It's got probably the best suspension out of the box of any EUC, I would say. It's got that 100 millimeters like we were talking about before, and it's probably gonna fit the most people, like be the most usable for the most riders over the most terrain. Just out of the box, you're not gonna need to swap anything out, swap springs, anything like that. You just change the air pressure to how you like, set your preload, set your rebound. You can do that over the course of a couple rides. It's no big deal. It's super easy to adjust. To bring up the racing again, at King of the Motos, that sand was just so soft. I'm not used to that soft sand at all. I have like high stiff suspension settings to be able to just eject my tire through the rocks and keep my traction through rocks and stuff. But when you're just going through that sand and looking out for any rocks that are hidden in the sand, I really wanted to soften my suspension up a lot, and it was easy for me to do that. I just aired down. I got my pump out, and we just took out like 20 or 30 PSI, and it felt great. A little bit of air out of the tires, and it was ready to go. Good luck if you're on a Lynx and you really need to make that drastic of a change. You're not gonna probably be swapping springs, right? I don't know, I don't think so. Let's move on to how this wheel jumps, how it handles the jumping. We've definitely seen wheels in the past, maybe Begode wheels especially, that had really weird characteristics jumping. This has none of that. This is probably the best wheel for jumping, the best firmware. Like I said, if you want that stiffer suspension, that's better for jump parks. Also, lots of pressure in the tire. Like these slopestyle guys, mountain bike, they run like 100 PSI sometimes. Like they're 70 is like the lowest they go. So yeah, there is a tire rubbing the battery box issue that happens sometimes, but maybe if you're in like the trails, really soft trails or something, you might run a lower tire pressure. But when you're gonna start sending the big jumps, again, taking it back to mountain bikes, the slopestyle guys, they run hardtails most of the time. A BMX bike, right, is a full rigid, and you kind of need that for the jumps. When you go jumping, just put more air in the tire, put more air in the suspension, and yeah, go jump your heart out. And when I say more PSI in the tire, I'm talking like around like 40. That might sound crazy to some people, but that's totally fine for like a jump park or anything. You don't need traction really when you're just sending jump lines. Yeah, jumping is just like my favorite part of EUC. I love jumping, I love learning tricks. And this high-powered motor and just the crisp response from the firmware means it just launches off the takeoffs and it just sticks the landings, dude. Like, it's so good. I don't even really got to think about it. I run this in 100% pedal stiffness or whatever, you know, it's not getting away from me. It's not doing the weird rocking horse thing that Lynx has done in the past. I don't know if they really do it anymore. I haven't really played with my Lynxes in a while. And these handles, man. Yeah, these handles. Yeah, super good spot for the handles for doing some stylish tricks, getting steezy, doing some one-footers, doing shifty. You can do a lot of cool stuff with these handles. Yeah, that one's in such a good spot for braking too. But yeah, such a good trick wheel. The best trick wheel, I think. I love it. Next up, we got durability. Hasn't really taken much damage. I got like a little bit of a thing in the plastic here from when I smoked myself at Let It Ride, going like super to flat and then exploding on the landing. I bent some of these screws when everything took a little bit of a hit, but I changed those screws out and like everything's all good now. Yeah, 6 months and I haven't done anything crazy to it. It's fine. It's taken some crashes. There's been some videos or something, someone did a teardown and they were afraid of the motor bolts breaking or something. They said, don't jump this wheel. You're fine, you can jump this wheel. Those bolts are fine. I don't know, does that guy jump? Like, he didn't seem like he was gonna go jump the wheel anyway, even if the bolts were a lot stronger looking. Check out Josh doing like the biggest drop I've ever seen, like on a unicycle. Like, he went so far out away from where he was dropping off too, that like he went to almost like the flats. It was a heavy impact. And I'm like, bro, we got a race in like an hour. But yeah, it was fine. Like, the wheel was fine. He didn't even do the thing to the tires. And I was like, oh dude, no, like you're gonna rip your tire apart, right? Like, but no, it was all good. So yeah, I guess that brings us to, yeah, that tire gouting issue. It comes from running too low of a tire pressure and maybe a little bit of a combination. I mean, you're always gonna bottom out. You should be using all of your travel. You shouldn't be bottoming out super harsh. Pump your air up a little bit more if you are. But yeah, so the tire can get gouged, and it's not happened to me because I just run a crazy high tire pressure because of all the rocks that are around my area where I ride and how I just run right into them. But yeah, the battery box, I don't know if it's the bolts or the box itself, but they can come down low enough, you know, to about this point. And then when the tire also is low PSI and fattens out a little bit down there, that's when they can collide, and it can just, this is a tubeless tire, so if you get through the tire casing, you lose your air. If you want some extra reassurance and also to keep your rims safe, go 40 PSI. People will think you're crazy, but if you do happen to run into that issue, Kingsong is, you know, they're going to try to help. So, you know, hit up the support line. I think they have an email address or something. Don't use the Facebook Messenger instant message thing. Just go through the proper channels, do the email, do, you know, support at Kingsong, probably something like that. I'll figure it out and post it on screen. That's where you want to try to resolve your issues. That's where you're going to get the spare parts that you need if you have any issues. They're going to probably ask for pictures and stuff like that, but you know, it's the normal go around, and then that's how you get replacement parts, warranty parts from Kingsong directly. Moving on to charging, we've got ports on either side, so you really need like 2 chargers. You can't really use like a Y cable to get all the way around unless you make your own. But yeah, the stock charger being 10 amps, that's super helpful if you're looking to get into racing or something, because we're always like, you know, running laps and then going back and charging so that we have the most energy stored in our wheels for when we go out to the line the next time. So yeah, super cool that they are sticking us with a 10 amp charger out of the box. And I mean, hey, if you don't race, like if you're going out for a ride and you're going to stop somewhere for lunch, like that 10 amp charger is going to obviously charge twice as fast as a 5 amp charger, which is what you're getting most of the time with an EUC. Next up, we got the firmware, and I think it's my favorite firmware for sure. On other wheels, I feel like I'm going into the settings because when I'm riding, the wheel's doing something weird and I've got to use the settings to try to make it stop doing the weird thing. But with the Kingsong, it rides how my brain expects the wheel to operate. I don't know if that's because most of my early riding was on a Kingsong S22. So it's like we were always just trying to get back to feeling like I was on an S22, but having more power. And we finally got that. That's why I was so excited when I heard about this wheel's existence, like over a year ago, very long time ago. When the F22 was coming out, I was like, oh, is it gonna be what I want? And then we found out, no, it's huge, it's heavy, it's the suspension's on the outside. That's no, suspension inside, mucho better. So yeah, it's just like the wheels settings, they really kind of do what they say. The acceleration assist just helps with the acceleration. You can really tune it, you know, how much angle it will go, the maximum angle if you only want your toes to go down a little bit. And then the sensitivity, like how easy it is to get to that angle that you've chosen. It has field weakening. I don't really know if I use field weakening very much because yeah, on my trails, like if you're getting up to 30 miles an hour, like that's really fast on a trail where you're basically not going straight for more than 5 feet ever. Yeah, 30 on any of my trails is pretty gnarly. We got to talk about the lights and I mean the look of this wheel. I think it is such a good looking wheel. I don't know. Oh, okay. I don't know if I want to start it like on my stand here. But yeah, you got the 3 headlights up here and then the 4 headlights on either side down there. And it just looks so awesome. It's got like the coolest like front profile. Like, dude, that looks so tough. I dig it. That's why I wanted to make a shirt out of it. The rear looks freaking cool too, honestly. I wish I could make it like purple and blue. The lights back here, the RGB is cool. I probably can, I just haven't messed around with the app too much. But yeah, anyway, the lights are like, you know, super adjustable too. They're not just awesome and like super bright, but you can adjust the configuration, the color, like all this stuff about them. You can make it so they don't come on every time. For the first couple of weeks that I had it, like I was just like killing myself because the light was just always shining in my camera and I didn't want that. But yeah, you can, and I had to remember to turn it off, you know what I mean? But yeah, you can just make it so it doesn't always come on and then you can choose to turn it on when you want to. So I mean, yeah, when you're thinking about getting your next wheel, I don't know if you could tell me any other wheel that has all of those things that I mentioned, the Bluetooth, the Find My, the suspension that you're just not gonna have to change. It's gonna be good, whatever you're doing. The best lights, the best firmware, I think, the best pedal adjusters, the tire's great. The weight is damn near perfect. With my discount, it's gonna come in at around $3,000. So it's a lot less money, honestly, than a lot of other wheels that do not have what this thing has in there. And it's so capable. Like, I mean, it's won King of the Motos. There wasn't an F18 at King of the Hammers. And then it won Let It Ride. Obviously, like, me and Josh are the riders on the wheel, but the wheel is capable. That's what I'm saying. Kingsong hasn't really been in the game, in the off-road game for a while, but this wheel is like, they're back with a vengeance. And this wheel is able to do all of the things. So yeah, I don't even know exactly like how they're doing it, but it's honestly impressive that they're giving you so many things, all the features and all the power and all the battery and all of it for such an affordable price. It's super awesome. So yeah, I mean, like, it's 6 months later and I still choose this wheel every weekend when I go out to ride. And if we want to talk about why, I mean, it's like a process of elimination. I've got most of the popular off-road wheels. I've got a 134 volt X-Way. I've got a Lynx over there. I've got an Apex right there. You know, it used to be so much easier. There was just like, you know, the Master and the Kingsong S22, and the S22 was just what I would ride for fun every weekend, because I go up the hill to have fun coming down the hill. And there was some races where I knew it wasn't just going to be all downhill, so I would ride the Master. But I always had a lot more fun on the S22. But yeah, it's like after the Master S22 days, there was all these different suspension wheels. I tried an Extreme, found out really quickly that I don't like the smaller tire diameter. Then the Lynx came along and we're like, oh dude, yes, so much power. It's so awesome. And yeah, you know, going up to a higher voltage, and we were stoked on it. It was obviously a step back in suspension. That Lynx, I don't know. I mean, some people really like that suspension, but now it just feels like it is not enough travel. We're bottoming it out all the time, and the settings don't really seem to do much. The rebound really dampens the rebound on this thing. Yeah, firmware and suspension on the Lynx, step back, power, big step forward. So we just ran with it for a while, right? And then, you know, the Apex was announced, and I was so stoked on the Apex. It seemed like it was going to be like a Lynx, but they were going to, you know, tweak the firmware, which, you know, I didn't like the firmware on the Lynx. And they were going to give it more travel. Woo! And so, yeah, we wanted the Lynx with more travel. But you know, the firmware bugs, weird firmware feeling things, they were still there. And the suspension didn't really work super efficiently. It was just kind of wasting the first maybe, you know, 25%, whatever, and then getting like super stiff. Anyway, the compression ratio was just like not great on it, and you were spending money getting different shocks trying to make it work, right? Next, it was the 134 volt X-Way. I wanted the lower voltage battery just to keep it lighter, because like I said, I just love riding downhill, and it feels better riding downhill on a lighter wheel. And I was really liking that. The H to S thing was working for me. I didn't have to change the shock out, but it had a weird firmware thing, and it dropped me when I was practicing the Thunderdome at Amped Electric Games 2025. And man, I wish I had this thing out there. And then finally, enter the Kingsong F18. It's got the amazing power, the amazing firmware, the amazing suspension. And yeah, I was all about it. But the real test is always to bring it out to an actual race. So we go to the very first USA EUC race, King of the Motos, and we win. There's another F18 there, and there's X-Ways there, and yeah, it's just, it just did so well. And it was after that day that I raced it. There was two different races, an off-road and an enduro. I won both of those races. And it was after that, that's when I was like, all right, you did it. You actually went through the real test, which is a race. And it out sprinted X-Way 168 with Justin on it. So like, I didn't think I could do that. And yeah, I don't know, I got this wheel to take me there. It was awesome. What a feeling, for sure. So yeah, after that race out there, I was all in. This is the wheel that I want to ride, and I'm getting locked into it now, and I love it. I finally got those new motor bracket. When I got it, the screws here would come loose all the time, but I use orange Permatex now, and like I said, I was riding this for 6 months on batch 1 parts. The orange Permatex fixed my problem that I was having with those screws loosening. I have the new parts now, but I'm just gonna use orange Permatex still. I use it for the motor bolts now. I love that stuff. You can actually remove it without doing anything crazy, heating it up or anything like that. But it is a lot stronger than blue. If you're interested in this wheel, go ahead and do that. I have been loving it. I waited for it for so long. I was so excited when I finally got it. And it's just been doing so great. Had a lot of fun getting all the clips for this video. Hope you enjoyed them.